Now Bakersfield, the oldest high school, is looking to get graduates to come together through a new alumni association. See how you can get involved in a meetup happening this weekend. And if you drive an electric car, some new charging stations have popped up in the Southwest. We'll tell you where to find them. And humans haven't walked on the moon for decades, but NASA is looking to change that in a major way. See what new plans the space agency has up its sleeve. That's all ahead on the Now Bakersfield. Chris?
Topping our lineup today here on the Now, we're looking at how a smart speaker could become a home security device. Firefighters have a warning, though, before you go all in on this. And whether it's for money reasons or for companionship, more seniors are getting roommates. We're checking out a new service helping make those connections. And we're also talking with the creators of a new tool that could save people selling homes thousands of dollars and get them more offers.
Good evening. This spring, Bakersfield High School will be launching a new alumni association aiming to connect former students from more than 120 graduated classes. The Now's Alyssa Flores has the details on the new club that's coming to Kern County's oldest high school.
It's the oldest high school in Kern County.
It's a magical place.
The history of Bakersfield High spans over a century.
The rich history, no one can touch us in that aspect.
And Ken Hooper is the man who could tell you all about it.
Warren Hall in 1934, and it looks exactly the same today.
He and his students have archived pictures, yearbooks, sports paraphernalia, documents, many dating back to the opening of the school in 1893.
These are the oldest of the photographs, early 1900s.
Through World War I,
The Army veterans of World War I are Kern County boys.
World War II,
So same thing with World War II. They are there, they are right in the middle of it. 400 or 500 Bakersfield High School people are fighting in World War II alone.
documents and pictures proving that the Driller Way dates back decades.
The students would sit down and write letters to every single Bakersfield High School graduate that was serving.
Archives documenting the moments historic icons visited Driller Country.
Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks gave speeches in the Harvey Auditorium. Just to know that that happened at my campus, that's powerful, and I think that's really meaningful.
And notable alumni like former Governor of California and Chief Justice Earl Warren
So Governor Warren came down from Sacramento.
and NFL Hall of Famer Frank Gifford. Now, that history will be more accessible than ever. Bakersfield High School is launching their first all-alumni association, connecting Drillers past to present-day students, providing support in academics, athletics, and scholarships.
So this is the perspective of a member and what they can have access to.
Alumni Association members are going to have access to the school's rich history at their fingertips.
Countless hours working through the archiving section, trying to get all that stuff uploaded.
Whatever it might be that people can use to look back at their own time in high school. Usually when the alumni look at the old photographs, it's almost always laughter.
Something many of those pictures have in common through the decades, the water tower.
And there in the background is the water tower. It's brand new right then.
When people remember their school, they kind of have a symbol, and the water tower has always kind of been that symbol. So every driller has walked under that water tower.
A Bakersfield landmark there since 1936. It took a major effort for the water tower to be moved in the middle of the night to make way for the football stadium's renovations in 2016. It was moved to the Kern County Museum.
There was a lot of emotional attachment. People had seen a lot of football games, a lot of track meets, a lot of soccer games in the shadow of that water tower.
And now, as Principal David Reese prepares to retire after 20 years at BHS, he wants to make sure the water tower has a lasting home while creating a place for decades of alumni to gather.
It's a special meaning to once a driller, always a driller, includes the water tower.
Bakersfield High is celebrating the water tower being cemented into history at the Kern County Museum, preserving a legacy for drillers past and present.
As trite as it sounds, once a driller, always a driller really means something once you are a driller.
For the Now Bakersfield, I'm Alyssa Flores, 23 ABC.
And for information on how to join the Bakersfield High School Alumni Association and how to get tickets for this weekend's inaugural event at the Water Tower, just head to our website, turnto23.com. Well, good news tonight for those who drive an electric car. Charging stations have popped up in Southwest Bakersfield. The new stations have been installed in a parking lot off of California Avenue near the Panera restaurant. Officials say the charging stations aren't quite ready to start juicing up electric cars quite yet, but they should be fully operational on Thursday. It's unknown at this time who's responsible for building the new stations or if they have any cost associated with charging up electric cars. Popular indie pop band The Silver Sun Pickups has announced they will be paying a visit to Kern County, playing a concert at the 1933 Event Center. Check this out. That was just a quick listen to two of the most famous Silver Sun pickup songs, Lazy Eye and Panic Switch. The band will be playing an all-ages show at the 1933 Event Center in Northwest Bakersfield Tuesday, January 4th. 1933 has been bringing some pretty big names recently, including Taking Back Sunday, Genuine, and She Wants Revenge. The concert will kick off at 8 p.m. and tickets start at just $25. It's a show that is sure to sell out, so make sure you get your tickets soon.
Smart home controllers like Amazon Alexa can now alert you if someone's breaking into your house. Investigative reporter Jace Larson showing us how this works.
Hey Chris, Amazon Echo is going to use microphones to listen into your home for the sounds of smoke and carbon monoxide alarms or breaking glass. If it hears those, it's going to then send an alert to your phone. Now, all of this is not automatic. When you leave, you do have to say the phrase, "Alexa, I'm leaving," or something similar. That's going to trigger the device to start listening for an alarm or broken glass. If it hears something, you're going to get an alert on your phone. It's going to look something like this. You can then listen in, or as the company calls it, drop in on a 10-second audio clip from your house. To make all of this work, you need an Amazon Alexa speaker, but the entry-level one is called the Dot, and it starts at $29.99. Now, here comes the good marketing part on behalf of the company. Amazon suggests that you have one in each room so that you can easily hear an alarm or breaking glass everywhere in your house. That might be considered a drawback by some people. I ran all of this by a longtime firefighter today who pointed out that this could help people with pets get notified of a fire at home, even if the owner is at work. But some users, he said, should keep in mind that there's no backup power if something happens when the power goes out. Also, what if your cell phone loses coverage and you don't get a notification?
Yeah, really interesting stuff, but many times when we talk about Amazon and Alexa and all these new developments, there has to be some privacy concerns that come with it.
This is absolutely no different. Because of that drop-in feature that I mentioned, homeowners are going to be able to listen in to other people who are at the house, and not everybody likes that. You can think about one spouse listening into another spouse, perhaps.
Right. Always some interesting stuff that comes a little bit of give and take on both sides. All right, Jace, thank you. Roommates aren't just for young adults anymore. Whether it's for money reasons or companionship, more seniors are getting roommates.
Even though we might be a little bit like the odd couple, like, you know, Oscar and Felix, we make it work.
Well, that woman talking about her roommate that she found through a service connecting seniors. We're going to show you how it works and the benefits they're seeing ahead in our line. Well, let's start the news feed. Former Congressman Anthony Weiner's prison sentence is over. Left a New York halfway house this morning. He was sentenced back in 2017 for sending explicit text messages to an underage girl. Nearly 100 people under arrest in an alleged sham marriage scheme. The scheme stretched from Houston to Vietnam. Authorities say it involved arranging fake marriages in exchange for immigration papers. Facebook's WhatsApp, well, it was hit with a security breach. This is a messaging app that's used by 1.5 billion people across the world, but experts are telling Reuters that most users shouldn't be concerned because it's believed in this case, hackers were targeting specific people for political reasons. Take a look at this one here. A fraternity at Hofstra University in New York suspended after this video came to light. Shows people at an Alpha Epsilon Pi party forcing a dog to drink beer from a keg. Now, it's possible the fraternity may be punished after an investigation. The dog is back with its owner. It is okay. The dog's owner is seen in the video. Well, a lot of college students are graduating this month, and really before they know it, they'll be getting those emails saying it's time to repay those loans. Well, it turns out not too many people know that they're eligible for student loan forgiveness. Consumer Reports says only a fraction of those people actually take advantage, and Annie Taylor's here with your options.
Chris, there's a ton of loan forgiveness programs out there. Many of them are for nurses, teachers, and volunteers, and they're state specific. But some of the ones that fewer people know about are for people who are in specific situations. Like if you become disabled and are unable to work, there's a program for that. It's called the Total and Permanent Disability Discharge Program. Now, the program cancels the remaining balance, but the loans won't disappear immediately. You'll have to wait a few years after the discharge is approved. Now, if at some point you attended a school that closed and you didn't receive a degree, you're eligible for loan forgiveness. You'll need to contact the loan servicer to start the process. And if you're approved, you may be refunded some or even all of the payments you've made. And nobody wants to think about a loved one dying, but in the case of Parent Plus loans, where parents are co-signers, a loan will be eliminated if either person dies. Some people may think one or the other will inherit the loan. Now, a few things to keep in mind before you apply. You may still need to pay taxes on forgiven loans. It depends, though, on the program you've signed up for, but you should only get your loans forgiven through a government program, never through a company where you pay.
Humans haven't walked on the moon since the 1970s, but NASA is looking to change that. The space organization has announced new lunar missions, but we won't just be going to the moon, we'll be staying. And then NASA has plans to go out even further. Check this out.
This all starts with the ability to get larger, heavier payloads off planet and beyond Earth's gravity.
For this, we designed an entirely new rocket.
The Space Launch System. SLS will be the most powerful rocket ever developed.
And with components in production
and more in testing,
this system is capable of being the catalyst for deep space missions.
We are going.
We're going.
So cool. NASA is preparing to build sustainable infrastructure on the moon to supply missions into Mars and into deep space. Officials say they've built a capsule called Orion, which is capable of launching humans into space and back to Earth. They also plan on building a platform called Gateway, which will be in orbit between the moon and the Earth to launch exploratory missions. NASA says this is the next chapter of space exploration and cutting-edge experimentation. The agency is aiming to be on the moon by the year 2024. That's crazy. That's just a few years away. All right, let's take a live look outside of downtown Bakersfield. If you're going to try to see the moon, I would suggest tonight is the night, right, Allison?
Oh, yeah. Tonight will be the best night of the week because look at this. Beautiful, clear skies across the county. That's not going to be the case as we head into the later portion of the week. But beautiful conditions right now. 84 degrees here in Bakersfield with those very dry conditions, very similar to what we were feeling this time yesterday. But that will all be changing as we track a storm that has already made its way into Northern California and will slowly be sweeping through the state and off to our east for the next several days. But tomorrow, temperatures are going to be cooler than what we were feeling today. Here in the valley, we are going to be in the low 80s tomorrow. Down in the South Mountains, Fraser Park in those upper 50s, and then looking at the 60s into Hatchby as well as up in Lake Isabella. But thankfully, as the storm makes its way onshore, it is going to be bringing an increase in winds as well as clouds. So that means fresh air is on the horizon for the rest of the work week. week. We are going to be back to the good range tomorrow with an AQI of 49. But let's break this storm down. So low pressure system is still off the coast, and it's going to be that way throughout your Wednesday evening, bringing heavy rain into Northern California. And this is going to be a winter storm, so that does mean snow chances are going to be in the forecast for the Sierras, as well as the chance for a dusting for us here in Kern County. That's going to be in the higher elevation. So this system moves onshore into Kern County late Wednesday, continuing throughout the day on Thursday, as well as for your early Friday. So by 10 p.m., that's going to be the best chance for us here in the valley to see those showers begin. But most of that rain actually going to be falling late Wednesday, continuing into the early morning hours Thursday. And then as we head into the evening hours Thursday, early Friday, that's when we're going to be seeing that chance to see that dusting up in Lake Isabella, again in those higher elevations. But this is definitely a cold air mass and going to be bringing an impressive amount of rain to our mountain communities, so they could be seeing anywhere from 1/4 of an inch up to potentially nearly an inch of rain, depending on where those isolated thunderstorms land. And for us here in the valley, we could be seeing anywhere from 1/10, potentially up to 1/4 of an inch. But look at these temperatures, down to 83 degrees by Wednesday, upper 60s, low 70s by Thursday and Friday. Clearing out and drying out and slightly warming up for your Saturday. And then we are tracking a series of storms for your Sunday, Monday, as well as on Tuesday. Chris?
If you want to keep your body and your mind healthy, get more exercise. Might seem simple, but the World Health Organization, that is their new recommendations specifically for preventing dementia. They say regular exercise and other healthy habits are important. They even recommend a Mediterranean-style diet. Now, they did take a firm stance against certain vitamins and supplements that claim to promote brain health because research proves they don't work. And they also didn't endorse any games or activities that are aimed at boosting thinking skills. Well, social isolation can lead to a higher risk of hospitalization, even early death. 1 in 3 Americans over the age of 45 say they're lonely. That's according to AARP. Now more seniors are connecting with roommates as one way to help, and our Chris Welch shows us that there are even websites that are made just for this.
Thank you for being a friend.
That music is synonymous with women of a certain age all living under one roof.
Now then, Dorothy, would you say you are a very neat person?
Oh, yes. Very, very neat.
Please, you're neat and I wear a D cup.
Turns out Dorothy, Blanche, Rose, and Sophia may have been onto something.
So I take a banana, and then I look over there, and if she's not looking,
she runs in there. Okay.
Meet Cindy and Allison, 2 women in their golden years who, as of 3 months ago, were perfect strangers.
He was a lovely man.
See, Cindy had recently lost a close friend who was staying with her, and Allison's apartment building was being torn down.
So then I thought, well, I'll go back to what I was doing when I was in college and, you know, a young, starving actress. I'll get a roommate.
It made perfect sense, not just for the financial and emotional benefits.
Safety. That's a big deal for us.
As well as companionship. According to AARP, 1/3 of Americans over the age of 45 say they're lonely. So it makes sense then that sites like the nonprofit Senior Home Shares, where the two found each other, are growing.
And what you do is you sign up either as a home seeker or a homeowner. You fill out a profile.
Stephanie Haycox created the site.
It's a lot like online dating in that you put in your preferences, what you're looking for in a housemate.
Cindy posted this, saying she was neat, clean, and responsible, and looking for the same to share her apartment.
The first person I pulled up was Cindy, and her introduction was just perfect for me.
I also happen to have a room for rent, and the name is Blanche Devereaux. Why would you name a room Blanche Devereaux?
Allison calls herself a Blanche. Cindy,
I think I'm more like Dorothy.
But for them, there's another sitcom that may be even more appropriate.
Even though we might be a little bit like the odd couple, like, you know, Oscar and Felix, we make it work.
Reporting in Los Angeles, I'm Chris Welch.
All right, Chris, thank you. And when was the last time you made a new friend? And we're not talking about somebody that you just friend on Facebook. We mean an honest, real-life true friend. Well, according to one study from OnePoll and Evite, the average American adult hasn't made a new friend in 5 years. Now, the biggest reason for this, people just say they're too shy. Others say when people go out to places like bars, it's not really their scene, and others say that it is hard to break into friend groups that have already been established. Now, you might want to keep trying, though, because a 2016 Harvard study found that not having friends, that could be as bad for your body as smoking. Researchers discovered a link between loneliness and the levels of a protein in the blood that can cause heart attacks and strokes. Now, the Mayo Clinic found having a good group of friends can help lower your risk of depression, even high body mass index. Now, the Evite poll found that the average person has 16 friends, both close and casual. About half say they want to make new ones, but they don't really know how. So experts say the best way is in person, like finding a place to go volunteer, meeting people through a sports league, going to church or temple, even just making an effort to know your neighbors can spark a friendship. Well, let's get back to our lineup here with the new tool that could save people selling homes thousands of dollars and get them more offers. Thanks to stiff competition between big retailers, delivery options just keep getting better for us. Today, Walmart rolling out free next day delivery. There's no membership required. There is a $35 order minimum. It's starting in Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Southern California, but then it's expected to roll out to about 75% of the country by the end of the year. Well, just like Uber disrupted the taxi industry, Airbnb shook up hotels and the rental market. More and more tech companies are changing the business of real estate, and Annie Taylor's here with a look at a new buying process.
Gone are the days of driving around neighborhoods looking for houses. Pretty much everyone starts their search online with virtual tours and with professional photos. You sometimes don't even have to see the property in person to know if it's right for you. Now, one company wants to help you buy digitally, completely digitally. Redfin is a tech real estate broker that lists homes for sale for a much cheaper fee. 1% versus sometimes 4 to 6% commission charges. Now, the company included a new tool on its website that lets someone make an offer on a home online right away. Redfin CEO told us they developed the software after potential buyers kept reaching out to them wanting to bid on homes.
We're not here making the case that this is the right product for everyone. But for a certain kind of buyer, we have already been approached, with or without software, from people who just want to make the offer because they're looking to save on the commission.
So Redfin launched the online bidding in Boston back in March, and so far 5 houses have sold through this process, and they plan to test in other cities before rolling it out nationwide. Redfin and several other web-based real estate operations are also expanding the areas where they do instant cash offers and buy your home.
All right, Annie, thank you. And gummy vitamins are really popular right now, and you may have considered switching because honestly, they just taste way better. But tomorrow on The Now, we're going to be taking a look at whether you're actually getting all the benefits from them compared to a regular vitamin.
Soak up all the sunshine you can because winter weather is on the way. Look at this. Temperatures dipping down into the upper 60s, low 70s as we track rain and thunderstorm chances on Thursday.
All right, looking forward to it. That's going to do it for us on The Now. We'll see you at 11.